welcome back, everyone. I am excited about bringing on my next guest. Not only is she the owner of WCI Broker, she is my sponsor, one of my sponsors, and I'm so happy to have her. Thank you for supporting me and to be on the show. I want you to tell everybody a little bit about you and what you do and what we're going to kind of talk about today. Listen up, everyone.
Hi, and thank you, Carol, for having me on again. My name is Susan Tanko, and my partners, I do have two partners in the business, Dennis Hayes and Vinny Sopra. So we are right now ranked number 3 out of top business brokers in Arizona. We've moved from the bottom rung all the way almost to the top. We're going for the top.
That's awesome.
Yes, moving into the Camelback corridor.
That's exciting about that. You have a lot of things going on. When people are listening, first thing I want you to do is I want you to talk about all of the services that you offer, because there's a lot of people out there that are either ready to retire, that own businesses, maybe they're thinking about it, right? And I want you to not only explain about all the services that you offer, but also when is the best time for people to call you to get ready to sell your business, make the money you deserve?
That's a great question, Carol. The first thing I would say is it takes 8 months to a year to actually sell a business once you list it. So we need to get started now if you're thinking of selling in the next couple of years. We need to talk about all of the things that you can do to pull the maximum value out of the business when it sells. All the things you shouldn't be doing. We need to talk about the books and records. Make sure you've got a great CPA lined up that's really watching your back and that your books will check out, because there is a process once the buyer submits their offer and it's accepted by you as the seller. There's a process that we go through called due diligence, books and records, and there's an examination done on those records, so they need to be precise and they need to check out.
And you've been doing what you do for how long here?
Oh my goodness, that's not one of my questions.
Myself?
Yeah, 27 years.
I'm going to do that this time to you, because there's a couple things in my mind.
Oh, I see, okay. 27 years, although the business WCI has been around 57 years, going on 60, and combined experience in our office is probably about 350 years of experience through all our agents.
Not only do you have the experience, but you also have the buyers.
Oh yes, we do have the buyers. We're nearing 50,000 in our buyer head count now that are already registered with us, and we're getting new ones every week.
You know, I always write down what people say, and I've been on my show, and I try and remember, and as you're talking, I want to make sure that you get out some of the stuff that I think is pertinent, especially for people that are listening. The main thing is that when they call you, when you work on a contingency basis, this is also important for people to understand. So you're there to get them the most money as possible. You're really there
agents that work on commission, and we do take bonuses. We work really hard. We might work for, like I said, 6-8 months before we actually get to the closing. So our sellers sometimes meet with half a dozen buyers before they find the one that they like and they feel would be a good fit for the culture of their company. So this is a process.
It is. It's a process. And you want to make sure, though, the number one thing is that you call early on. Don't do it, well, sometimes something can happen where, you have a medical issue or things like that. But if you can do something early on where you're really preparing, that's going to be better for you, right?
Absolutely. And ironically, when you're a business owner, you've sacrificed so much throughout the years. You've given people jobs. You've taken quite a beating. Sometimes you don't even take a paycheck for yourself. And we see these kinds of things on the financials. And the sacrifices that people give to be an owner of a company are incredible. What we see. So yeah, I could go deeper into that, but most definitely need to meet, a couple of years before you're actually going to sell. But if something comes up and you need to sell, we can do that too. We do it all the time.
It does. As things happen, life happens. Their phone number to call is 602-795 2005. You want to make sure you put this in your phone. Maybe it's someone that you know, maybe it's you. Tell them about it. You know, it's very important. That's what this part of this show is all about, which is networking. And again, it could be your parents. They own something. Tell them about this because they got to get ready. The sooner that they do it, it's better for them. Again, that phone number is 602-795-2005. It's WCI Broker, that's without an S.com. Now, let's go back into some of the questions that you had for today. So what types of businesses in commercial real estate do you sell?
We sell profitable businesses, businesses that aren't suffering constantly, ones that are making a profit, paying the owners a salary, and sometimes they don't pay themselves a salary because when you get to a certain age, you don't want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But the business needs to be able to buy itself back. So those are the types of businesses we sell, and you know, we sell construction, mainly service businesses, a lot of very large construction companies in the multi-millions, very large. Medical businesses, we sell more gas stations, liquor stores, and convenience stores than any other brokerage. I don't know if
Really?
you're aware of that.
Well, you know what, the last time you were on, I believe we had somebody that has, and he's got an ad out, it's part of, he was working for you, and he made it, you know, he's working for you now because he loved what you did for him. That was super, super awesome. Now let's go back here. What is the famous Best Buys list? And let's talk about that. How does a seller get on that list?
Well, first of all, you have to let us do an evaluation on your company, which is no charge, by the way. We never charge for those. And our Best Buys list, since we're live, I'll show it to you. We put this out every month to every registered buyer that requests it. So it's quite a large amount of people that ask for this every month. It comes out on the first of the month. We're really big on marketing your listing once we take it. And in the middle of the month, on the 18th, our transaction coordinator, Shelley, puts out a mid-month marketing letter with all the new listings that come in, because we are big-time listers. So there's always something new coming across the table. And ironically, with 50,000 buyers and more signing up all the time, you know, in less than 200 listings, you can see the problem, which is not a problem at all if you're a seller. But people lunge at these, and we get LOIs and contracts, and we do a lot of backup offers, Carol.
I think it's really important when you hear this information here on the show, is that you take it and do something about it. You know, willing and able people, right, is what they're looking for. And it could be you, it could be someone that you know. I truly think the best thing, when you do evaluations, right, they're not just some short little small things. I want you to tell them, because I remember you telling me a while back, one of the first times it came out, what these are like. They're very extensive. Go ahead.
So, so there's different types of valuations, but just to tell you what your business value is, we look at 3 years of financials. We like to look at the tax returns specifically because we know that most of these are going to be financed by a lender, and the lender's looking at the tax returns. The old adage is, you don't report money you're not making, right?
Right.
So they're looking at the tax returns. And granted, some businesses have some cash that go in and out, but we don't really look at those things as closely as we do the tax returns. We'll do an evaluation, look at the personal add backs, look at the cash flow, look at the EBITDA, which is another term that sellers understand, especially with the larger businesses. That is what buyers are looking for. They want to see how quickly can this business buy itself back.
And you know, that's what it's all about. Now, the phone number to call is 602-795-2005. They work on a contingency basis. They are here to help you get the most that you can out of your business. You earned it. right? You earned it. You earned to have
By the
someone.
time we get there, we earn it.
And then you earn it. But I'm saying so did they. But they should have
Absolutely.
the best person possible, somebody with that experience, and somebody that's going to make sure that you do get the most that you deserve.
Absolutely, and we fight really hard for our sellers.
That number again is 602-795-2005. The website is WCI Broker. It's without an S.com. Again, 602-795-2005. Hang tight. We'll be back in just a minute. We're going to keep on talking. Now, when you put that back on, go back down like that. Because
Yeah, I
when you
could
pushed
feel
it
it.
pushed. Yeah, okay. That's okay. Are you okay that I did that to you?
No, I like it.
I like
impromptu stuff that's not
Exactly.
written, and then I don't have to go.
Exactly, but also
Yeah,
too,
because I
I'm
know
remembering
it.
some of the things. Exactly.
Yeah, and you're bringing up, you have great notes. I can't believe you remembered all this throughout the years.
Well, that's my job, right?
That's true,
That's
it
my
is, it
job.
is.
Exactly,
It
just
is.
like your
Well,
job.
that's a great thing about being a broker too, is, people will call and say, have you ever sold a medical business? Well, yes, I have.
Yeah, and you know
I love
exactly-
medical.
And you should talk
Or
about
retail,
a lot of
or
medical people.
There's so many different kind of businesses. It is amazing how many businesses have been constructed by people that you'd go, oh wow, there really is a need for a business like that, and it's really making a lot of money. So those things, that's the most interesting part to me, is to list something we've never heard of, or that you see had a real need. And you're like, geez, I could have thought of that,
Oh,
It's
yeah,
just
of course.
entrepreneurship, number one. It's so thrilling.
And the people stories, I bet
And
you
the
that.
people stories. It's such an I never made it past 3 or maybe 5 years. I did work for an exhibit company for almost 10 years, but I was never happy. And I was always looking for something else because I wanted to help people. I actually went to nursing school. So when I picked this up, my father kept saying to me, he was the original owner, you need to come be a business broker. You have those sales skills. You need to put them to work. And I said, I hate sales. I don't like sales. I don't like people who climb on top of me and tell me what to do. And I don't want to be that person. But it turns out, for me, this is a service job because I'm matchmaking all day long.
We're going to talk about that if that's okay with you.
Okay,
We're
yeah,
not
that's
even going
great.
to get to all of this, but that's okay. I want to hear that story because that is what brings the passion out. Susan, that's what I want you to do, is bring your passion that you have for this out, and they hear that, and that's what they love too.
Sure.
Okay? And also sometime a story. Also maybe another, like something that I think one time you had one where you sold something pretty big. I think it was maybe not the last time, or the time before that you had some nice big sale or something.
We'll get to a couple of nice
Okay,
big sales.
I'll try you. I'm trying to get that. Okay. So we did that. We're here. Okay, we're on 4. So we're doing good in terms of this. I'm glad I'm adding this in.
Yeah. Yeah, number 4 is really important because people
Okay.
don't really understand that we're not realtors.
Okay, that's okay. Absolutely.
They're like, why can't I find my listing online? Where is it? Why don't I see it? And the reason is it's highly confidential. I'm not going to put that you're trying to sell your business. You have employees.
Right.
Yeah.
Then we
Everything
know.
is
You
so
ready?
confidential.
Okay, here we go. So welcome back, everyone. Are you interested in possibly selling your business? Have you been thinking about that? Right? You might want to start thinking about that. And when you want to talk to somebody, you need to talk to somebody with experience and passion for what they do. Okay, and we're going to talk a little bit about this. Susan Tanko, the president and designated broker of WCI Commercial. You actually, I think you love what you do. I know a lot of people do. I know, but I meet a lot of people, and you just live this. You really do. And I want you to talk a little bit about that.
Okay, put me on the spot again. So I always wanted a real estate license, but I didn't really want to bake cookies and be at houses. And my father started this company, and he used to say to me, you need to come be an agent at my office at WCI Brokers. We need people like you. You have sales experience. You have natural ability with people. And I said to him, I don't want to be in sales. I'm not a salesperson. I don't want to be a salesperson. And so I came to work for another agent, and that turned out a couple years later, I ended up actually being an agent myself. I was always licensed. But long story short, I found out that this isn't about sales. The business sells itself. The business portion is based on numbers. People want to know that they can make a living from a business, pay off the note, and be happy in what they're doing going forward, and that the culture fits for everyone. On the buyer and seller side, and I found out very quickly that this is a matchmaking task for me. So yes, I get on my pedestal and I'll sell and I will tote everything about your business, but what I'm really looking for is you. So I'm looking for an owner who's just like you, talks like you, thinks like you, has a similar background to you, and I have to introduce all buyers, all opportunities, and present all offers. But in the meantime, I am looking for a match. And that is very fun for me. So I really dig into what buyers' backgrounds are, what they like doing, what their hobbies are. I like to get to really know everybody on both sides.
I think that's so cool. The phone number is 602-795-2005. You can check them out. It's WCI Broker without the S.com. It's a segue. It happens to be perfect from you talking a little bit about you having your real estate license and all of that. But how do you market listings where you do advertise, and why can't somebody find their business on the residential realtor, find their ads out there? Why can't they find them there?
Yeah, so a couple of things. For confidentiality reasons, we are not a member of the National Association of Realtors. We are not selling homes, and granted, that's extremely hard, and I thought about doing that for a few moments, but we cannot put these confidential listings on a MLS listing system with addresses and information. We just cannot. It's highly confidential, and the seller doesn't want all that information out there. Some of the files we completely ghost, and you can't even tell what part of the valley they're in. So it's up to us to get non-disclosures from the buyers and vet those buyers to the degree where we feel comfortable in sharing a file. So we advertise worldwide, of course, and there are sites that are similar to an MLS, but they're actually for business brokers and businesses and real estate. So that's where you will find us advertising. And some realtors who send us referrals all the time, by the way, we pay referral fees to you guys, will say, gosh, I sent you that person, but I don't see the ad anywhere on the MLS. That's because we absolutely can't put it on there.
And there's good reasons. I mean, number one, you have to remember that the person that owns that business, they have people that are working there. They don't want to see that you're selling the business. That's scary for them.
Can you imagine someone showing up at the studio saying, I heard you're for sale?
Oh, gosh.
Can you
Let me tell you
the
that.
Panic? Yeah, so it's our job to keep
just
that.
in word of mouth, somebody might say something that they don't even know, that they heard
Right.
about something, and you know
Right.
what? It gets scary.
Right.
It is definitely should be confidential, and that is what you're
Yeah.
all about. That to keep it that way for each one of the people that you work with.
Yeah, so we trust that buyers will abide by their non-disclosure agreements and not show up at the business or call it. But we don't have a magic wand. We can't control people, but we do get non-disclosures, and we're very strict on that.
And then for a good reason. Now, can you share with some of the audience so that the types of currently listed business and highlights of those you had?
So guess what? I brought something I've never brought to the show. This is called our Best Buys. We talked about it earlier. And I'm just going to give you some examples of the type of businesses that we list. We list a lot of construction. We have grading and excavation, drywall and stucco, commercial roofing companies, steel fabrication, that would be manufacturing. These businesses earn to the owners between $7 million, just on the first page, down to almost $400,000 per year after all the bills are paid. Would you like to make $400,000 a year after the bills are paid, or would you like to make $7 million? So we have all of these businesses
And
available.
you talked a lot about those. I want to tell also something that you said during the break when we talked to Facebook Land out there, and that you said you love to work with medical.
I do.
I want you to just tell me some of the different, this is one thing, but there are other.
And non-medical. So my favorite thing to sell, I think, is because I did go to nursing school for a while, and I really love taking care of people, especially the elderly. I like non-medical at home, where they come to your home, and I've sold more of those than anyone in our office just because I love them so much.
We also have a lot of them here, which is really great. But
We do.
We do.
Some are franchised, some are not. So I have a plethora of buyers for those always because I've sold so many. But I know the nuances of those businesses and the licenses and the things in medical businesses too, the accreditations that the business has, and those things need to transfer carefully. Medical directors, all those things that go with the medical type businesses and non-medical. So I really love those because I like helping people, and boy, you talk about matchmaking. That takes a certain person to own one of those.
Oh, for sure, because they have to have that in their heart too.
Yes.
Right? It takes a certain kind of a person
The
to be
whole
able to do
staff
that.
does, or they're not successful.
Now, I want to give out your information, but I also want you to think about before I do that, is that I want a little bit about what it takes when they call you. Once they call you and you have that consultation with them, and the kind of steps that you go through to get to where they're really excited, where you've gotten a buyer for them, okay? So their phone number is 602-795-2005. Check them out. If you're looking for somebody with the experience and with the passion, with the buyers, because they have it, their phone number again, 602-795-2005. It's WCI Broker without the S.com. So I ask you, I would like you, I call you up, I tell you I'm interested in selling my business. Go through the steps, and then what it's like even afterwards when it's all done. Can you do that?
Oh, the closings are the most fun.
Oh, they have to be.
Yes. So initially, when you're ready to actually get the value on your business and decide, because everyone has a number, Carol. Some people might say, I just need $1 million and I can retire. Well, I'll tell you how to get there. I'll meet with you and look at your financials, or any of our agents. We have almost 20 agents between here and our Northern Arizona office. And we'll start there. We start with evaluation to see if you're ready.
Now, somebody's done that, right? The next steps, now they're getting closer and closer. They get that buyer that gets a close. What's it like for them? Because now they've gotten what they've wanted.
I think the most stressful part of the whole deal is the books and records contingency period, which is in the very beginning. It's 30 to 45 days normally. And at that time, the accountant from the buyer is talking to the accountant from the seller, and they're just looking at everything and making sure everything jives and checks out. We're getting bank financing lined up. So we handle it all. We handle everything from
In-house.
the listing, oh yes, to the contracts, to finding financing for the buyer. We handle it all.
And it's all done on a contingency basis.
We never charge buyers fees, by the way, never. Sellers pay our fees, and they're not due until we close escrow.
What are your final words? What do you want
I
to say?
really want to hear from you. I love the community. I have been here almost 40 years. Oh my
Wow.
gosh. And, I know Arizona. WCI knows Arizona. We have the best agents. Please call us.
Their phone number is 602-795-2005. I'm telling you now, of anybody, I feel that the most passion comes from you, but you're also so educated on it. The experience is incredible.
Thank you.
I mean,
Kat.
you were born into it. Your dad owned the company originally. How long ago did he open it?
Oh my goodness, 57 years?
57 years. So it's in her blood. That's the other thing, is that it's in your blood. And when it is, there's nothing like having somebody who really knows what they're doing. And when you talk to you and you can hear that from you. Again, check them out on their website. It is WCI Broker without the S.com. That number again, 602-795-2005.
Call me.
Let me just turn